painting pictures for the mission school. And I made the mistake of portraying the Virgin Mary as a Zulu woman based upon my mother's face. And I portrayed Jesus Christ as a Zulu boy. And for that, I was caned and expelled from school. The reason I was not caned, sir, by the white missionary only. I was caned also by the black teachers who accused me of having insulted Jesus Christ by painting him as a black. So you can see, sir, the stark mental confusion into which our people had been plunged. Men caning a boy because he had painted Christ as a black man, and saying that by blackening Christ's face, this boy had blasphemed.
Just makes you see, Credo, how easy it is for the few to control the world when most of the world gives its mind away.
Yes, sir, but one must understand, Mr. David Icke, that we human beings are weak creatures. We fall victim to ill health. We fall victim to sometimes nameless fear. And that is where the forces of darkness pounce upon us when we are afraid, sick, or insecure. Many black people who were converted easily to Christianity were people who had been traumatized by war. You see, during the great Zulu wars in Natal, thousands of black men and women used to run away from Zululand to Durban, where huge refugee camps, bigger than anything we have ever seen in Africa, soon blossomed. These refugee camps were fertile ground for Christian missionary operations. These refugee camps were places where many a self-seeking missionary was sure of walking away with several hundred converts.
Credo, all these methods we've been talking about here can be connected to this one stream, unbroken under different names, that came out of London. The next major stream I'd like to look at was that represented by Cecil Rhodes and the British South Africa Company, which, from what I've seen, transformed, perhaps more than anything, the structure, the economy, and the life of South Africa. What about him and that time?
Many stories are told about Cecil Rhodes. Many stories. And one day I shall amuse you with one. Cecil Rhodes was a strange man. Like all great men, he was a weird mixture of great viciousness and mercifulness. Cecil Rhodes was a seeker after knowledge, and he used to do many things for those blacks who gave him the knowledge he sought. First, Cecil Rhodes was interested in legends that he had heard about Africa and the Africans. He wanted to know where our people used to mine minerals. And his men used to go from village to tribal village, carrying cheap blankets, traveling shawls, and Stetson hats to bribe tribes people into showing them where mines were, ancient African mines were. In fact, I can tell you, sir, that many of the mineral deposits that are in South Africa, from the diamonds of Kimberley in the Cape, to the coal fields of Natal, to the gold mines of the Witwatersrand and of the land now known as Zimbabwe. All these mineral deposits were pointed out to Rhodes and his men by Africans. Africans willing to do anything to impress this strange white man. Cecil Rhodes smiled very often, especially before he ordered the slaughter of an entire tribe. Cecil Rhodes got to know how deeply our people respected a powerful man who reconciled two clashing factions. And one amazing thing, sir, when confronted by black people who were asking him pointed questions, Cecil Rhodes used to deny that he was the leader of the white people, for example, in Rhodesia. He acted like a third party, a man who was dedicated to reconciling black and white and stopping conflict between them. And until he died, sir, Cecil Rhodes was known by the Mandebele people as Mlamlankunzi, the brave one who parts two clashing bulls. At one time, Cecil Rhodes went to a very holy place, and a group of hills called Ndabazenduna, and there, under a tree whose remains can still be seen, Cecil Rhodes sat with a group of Matebele elders and actually persuaded them to stop warlike actions against the British Empire.
How did he manipulate the black tribes of Africa so that he got all these mineral rights which have now become consolidated goldfields and De Beers and Anglo-American?
Cecil Rhodes used to walk about completely unafraid amongst the Matebele people, and he used to tell them to attack the Mashona people, whom he called dogs. And in this way, Cecil Rhodes caused wars between blacks, which he then stepped in as an intercessor. Cecil Rhodes built up a formidable hatred between the Matebeles and the Mashonas. He played the Matebeles off against the Mashonas, and the same the other way around. What is strange about Cecil Rhodes was that, and which is never revealed in the many books that were told about him,